Hello everyone, welcome to our class again. Now we'll discuss psychoanalytical concept developed by Carl Jung. The psychoanalytical theory was taken up a step further by Carl Jung, okay, because of limitations that we have seen in the previous class that was okay associated with the Sigmund Freud's psychoanalytical theory. Carl Jung model of personality assumes changes throughout the life. Model emphasizes stages in the development of consciousness and the ego. Focus early in life, that is youth and middle age, is extroversion, focus on external world. Okay. To introversion, focus on one's inner world is called as introversion. That is the advantage. Carl Jung. Okay. Model emphasis is given on the stages in the development of conscious and the ego. Focus early in life, that is youth and middle. Extrovert nature, focus on external world. And to introversion, focus on one inner world. Right? In the old age, right? Life must contract and attention needs to be paid to inner life. Right? And levels of consciousness given by Carl Jung. Ego, conscious level, carried out daily activities like Freud conscious. Freud consciousness. What the Freud has stated. The ego of Carl Jung also carried same. Conscious levels, carried out daily activities. That was stated by Freud. Personal unconsciousness. Individual thoughts. Another level of consciousness given by Carl Jung is personal unconscious, individual thoughts, memories, wishes, impulses like Freud precautions, right? Unconscious. That is Freud. Here, what we will do in personal unconscious of Carl Jung, we will merge preconscious and unconscious of the concept given by Freud. And another level that is given by Carl Jung as conscious is collective unconscious. Storehouse of memories inherited from common ancestors of whole human race. Storehouse of memories, where like a library repository, you will store your memories in your repository. They will be inherited from the common ancestors. Okay, your ancestors, they are inherited of the whole. This will happen in the whole human race. No counterpart in Freud's theory. This was not mentioned by the Freud. The theory may be far out one, but it is reality that some personality traits cannot be explained logically. Okay, there may be a far out one, but it is a reality that some personality traits cannot be explained logically. We are not in a position to explain some personality traits in logical manner, right? And we will discuss another psychologist who gave who developed a personality theory. We call it as Erikson stages. We will discuss now. Freud's theory emphasized the sexual and biological factors in developing the personality, but Erikson criticized this heavy emphasis because he was of the view that more importance should be given to social factors. Erikson describes 8 developmental stages as we grow from childhood to adulthood, and the trauma of resolving certain critical conflicts we face at each other of these stages. Till we solve the particular conflicts of a particular stage, we cannot move to the next stage as per Erikson. For many of us, these issues are never completely resolved, and we struggle with them throughout the life, even beyond the stages of our adolescence. These problems carry over to the workplace as well. The 8 developmental stages, the problems encountered at each stage, and the impact of these stages on organizational behavior, we'll discuss now. First stage, stage 1, we call it as infancy, trust versus mistrust. Right? During the first year of life, a child has a great need for dependency. Feeling of trust versus mistrust is developed in this state. and these feelings depend upon the behavior of the parents. If the parents are care for the infant in a very affectionate way, the child learns to trust other people. That was developed at their infant stage. Right? Lack of love and affection on the part of the parents results in mistrust. They never believe others also because of their parent segments. This stage makes a serious impact on child that influences his behavior throughout his life. In the early stages of organizational life, when a person knows very little about the job and is dependent on others for guidance. Okay, may not be. If you may be best top ranker in the university, but in your when it comes to your practical work, you have to depend upon others for guidance. Okay, he develops the feeling of trust or mistrust towards others in the organization depend upon how the other people respond to his needs and help him in to find his place in the system. Okay, see, we are comparing the same with the infancy stage where the love and affection, okay, that was extended by their parents will have impact on their personality. According to Erickson, this is first stage. In the second stage, early childhood autonomy versus shame or doubt. In the second and third years of the life, a child begins to assert independence and experiences a great need to operate on his own. If the child is allowed to control those aspects of life that the child is capable of controlling, a sense of autonomy will develop. If he encounter constant disapproval by parents or elders, a sense of self-doubt and shame is likely to develop. That we will see in the child, okay, who has 2 or 3 years age. Likewise, in the organization life, a person wants to operate independently after the initial training. If he is allowed to do so, a sense of autonomy will develop. But if he is criticized and disapproved by others for making mistakes, he will tend to have self-doubts about his competency and experience a sense of shame for not doing the things right. Right? And the another stage that is given by Erickson is play age initiative versus guilt. He is considering the stages of a human life and comparing the same with the in an organization the employee life. When a child is 4 and 5 years old, he tries to discover how much he can do. He comes to know how much he can do. If the parents and other members of the family encourage the child to do experimenting and to achieve reasonable goals, he will develop a sense of initiative. Okay. But if on the other hand, he is blocked at every stage, okay, and everyone is entrancing him to not do so and made to feel incapable, he will develop a sense of guilt and lack of self-confidence. Right? This will be applied to the organization. If the same way, organizational members try to use their creativity and acquire talent as they settle down in their jobs. But if things go wrong, other people make him feel guilty that he has wasted the resources of the organization. Right? They are blaming. But if the things go according to his planning, he will develop a sense of initiative. This is what said by the Erickson in his third stage. And we are moving to fourth stage, that is school age or industry versus inferiority. From ages 6 to 12, as a child grows up, but before reaching the stage of puberty, he learns many new skills and develops social abilities. If the child experiences real progress at a rate compatible with his abilities, he or she will develop a sense of industry. If the situation is the reverse of it, he will develop a sense of inferiority. You will find that. Likewise, in the organization life, we try to work hard to make a position for ourselves. We want to prove ourselves. If we are not successful in our efforts, we will develop a sense of inferiority and low esteem. Otherwise, we will develop a sense of industry. Right? This is what said by Erikson in his fourth stage. Okay. In the fifth stage, adolescence or identity versus role diffusion contest. As a child reaches puberty and almost to the end of his adolescence, what we call it as end of his teenage. Okay, 13 to 19 years age, we call it as teenage. And if it comes to end, he experiences conflict due to the socially imposed requirements that he should become an independent and effective adult. In this period, he has to gain a sense of identity rather than to become confused about who is he. The autonomy, initiative, and enterprise developed in the earlier stages are very important in helping the teenager to successfully resolve the crisis and prepare for adulthood. Right? If we apply the same to organizational setup also, every employee has to make contribution to the institution and establish himself as a higher performing member. If he does it, he is identified in the eyes of the management, but if he fails to establish himself, he becomes just another employee in the eyes of the management whose identity is diffused. Right? And next stage is early adulthood, or we can say intimacy versus isolation. Okay. During young adulthood, or the adults during of identity developed the 20s, after completion of teenage, need is felt to develop intimate relations with others. The sense of identity developed during the teenage years allows the young adult to begin developing deep and lasting relationships. However, he feels it awkward to develop such relationships. He feel well. Okay, he will feel isolated. Right? If we apply the same to organizational impact, in the organizational life, also people may desire to develop close contacts with others who are significant and important in this system. Right? Those who can do it have a sense of intimacy if they have done. For those others who find it difficult to do it, experience a sense of isolation in the system. Right? And stage 7 given by Erikson is adulthood or generativity versus stagnation. This is the stage of middle adulthood. If a person becomes absorbed in his own career, advancement and maintenance, and he does not care for the development and growth of his children, which is a socially imposed demand on him, he will have a feeling of stagnation or self-absorption in his life. On the other hand, a person who sees the world as bigger than himself and fulfills his social obligations will be generative and have a feeling of generativity. Right? Likewise, in the organization, as a person reaches his mid-career, there is an expectation and need to monitor others in the system and help them to develop and grow in the organization. If a person does not do this effectively, he senses a feeling of stagnation in the system. Right? Another stage, mature adulthood or ego integrity versus despair. The 8th and last stage given by the Erikson. In this stage, a person is developed as a highly mature person. He has gained a sense of wisdom and perspective that can really guide the younger generations. This stage lasts from middle adulthood to death. It starts from middle adulthood and till it will continue till his death. In this stage, conflict is experienced by individuals as their social and biological roles get diminishing due to the aging process, and they experience a sense of usefulness. If they resolve this issue, They can experience happiness by looking at their consolidated lifelong achievement. If they fails to do so, they will have a sense of despair. Right? Now we'll see assessment of criticism. Likewise, in the organizational life, a person can have feeling of ego integrity after retirement by looking at his stock of accomplishment, or he can leave the organization with a sense of prosperlessness and despair. All the stages are interlinked. Okay, in one conflict is not resolved in one stage, it will be carried forward to the subsequent development stage. Managers can play a very important role in identifying the unresolved conflicts and try to help the employees in dealing with them. Right? With this, I conclude the theory of Erikson stages of personality. Okay, and we will discuss another theory of personality in the next class. Thank you for listening.